All right, I'd like to welcome you to Working with Portraits webinar designed to support the school annual online program. Our goal this afternoon will be to focus on functions of program associated with student portraits. Specifically, we will be reviewing printing class sheets for other teachers, parents, helpers to review and correct, strategies for detecting duplicate images, correcting student names, categorizing students, and using the flow function to create portrait pages. This webinar will be approximately about 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. So after logging into the program, one of the first things you may want to do is print off a class sheet and ensure the following, like the name and the picture associated to it, is correct. Make sure the spelling of the name is correct, and make sure that the student can be pictured in the yearbook. There are certain cases where a child, for whatever reason, um, safety security cannot have their image in the yearbook. So to do this, to print off a class, to get to teachers or to get to whoever needs to do this, let's first go up to create, and then we're going to go to our image library right here. All right, and then we're going to go to our portraits right here. This is where all the class photos should be. We're going to click on our class, the class that we want to get a preview. Then we're going to come up right here. We're going to see a button with a little magnifying glass that says the word preview. Once we click that, we'll get a PDF that will start to load. And here we will get a list that we can print off. It will have the images and the names underneath it. And so we can give this to this teacher, and they can make sure that the proper students are in their class. The names are spelled correctly. It is the proper name to the proper image. Um, this is very important to check and make sure that the right student has the right name. And then if any student can be in the book, all right. So while we just say that that list is out there being looked at, let's move on to editing class lists. So we're going to look at the coverage report here real quick. We're going to come up to create and the coverage report right down here at the bottom. Now the coverage report will have a list of all the students and staff and everybody that's in the portrait section right here. Here you can enter additional information, um, such as homeroom. You can say who that teacher is. Grade, if it says fifth grade, but no, that person's actually just a fourth grader, you can actually change the grade right here. You can actually change the name right here as well. Here, now one thing to remember here is if I change the name, so they spelled Amy with an IE, it should be a Y, caps locks. There we go. And I'll show you this person here in a minute. We'll actually go back to that folder we were just at, and we'll show you that that name has actually been corrected. So any name that you correct here will automatically be corrected in the image library. Um, because sometimes correcting a name in here is a lot easier than hunting down that particular folder that that teacher's in. So you can always just do that here. You could do like last name right here, or you could do by grade, by homeroom, however you want to filter this to make it a little bit easier. Also, right here, you will see the number of times in book. This is important for those schools that require at least, other than the initial portrait picture, at least one time that child is one featured in the book one time, other than the, like I said, other than the portrait. So here you can filter by number of times in the book, and you can actually see how many times this person is filtered in the book and on what pages they're actually on. All right, so let's go back to the image library where we can show a few more things before we move on to flowing images. So back here in the image library, we had that one name that we changed, that Amy, from an IE to a Y. Here's that change right here. So here's that change. We just made the uh, there the coverage report. Here's that change right there. So, like I said, everything changed in the coverage report gets changed in the image library. So when you get that page back, you may get some corrections, such as, say, you have two people right here. It's the same person, both their images in there twice. Um, so all you have to do is we want to mark that as a no photo because we don't want to use this photo. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this image right here. We're going to come up to, there's two different ways to do this. I'll do this this way first. We'll come up to and click on tag name, come up to detail, and then right here you will see it says use portrait. We're going to click on this down arrow right here, and we're going to select this option that says do not use portrait. We're going to apply change and then click on done. And then right here, you will see there's a little pop-up that says don't use. It's just letting you know that the system will not use that photo. The other way you can do that is by clicking this little blue dot in the bottom right-hand corner, right? And then you can click on details, same thing, use portrait, don't use portrait, apply change, and done. So that's just two different ways that you can get to the same spot. Now, for any reason you need to move a student, say this student right here is not in this classroom, it's actually in a different classroom, all you have to do is click and hold. Then you will see a kind of a faded image of the photo you just clicked on pop up right here. So we let go. So as we click and hold, it pops up. If we let go, it disappears. So here we're going to move it over. And as you can see, each folder is highlighted. Next to the numbers, you're going to see the word move. This is how you know you can actually move that photo. So we're going to go right here and we're going to let go of the mouse button. That image has disappeared. If we go back to this folder, we're going to see that that person is now right here. Right now, we're going to talk about a student who cannot have their image in the book. Um, so, say this student right here cannot have their image in the book. Same thing, we're going to go to the same place as we marked a no photo. So, we're going to click on this little blue dot right here. We're going to go back up to details. Only thing different with use portrait is we're going to use this third option that says use no photo. I'll show you what the no photo default looks like when we go to flow, but we're going to click on no photo, apply change, and then done. Then here you will see instead of don't use, it just says no photo. The name will be used on the page. It will have a no photo box instead of their image. And like I said, we'll show you that when we go to flow. So if you have a student who missed photo day, they missed the first one, they missed makeup day, or it's a brand new student, they come in right before you're finishing up the yearbook, you need to get them in the yearbook. You have an image of them and you've uploaded the image. To do that, all you have to do is click on upload, upload image, find the student photo that you need to use, and then upload that image. We'll also show you, I'm going to show you how to tag here, but I'm also going to talk about no photos as well. If you have a student that just came in and they don't have a photo, you may not have time to take a photo real quick, so you need to add a no photo, or it's a current student that just didn't get a photo taken at all. If your photographer has a folder of that they call no photo, something like this. If they have something like that, they send in with your images. Our upload team will upload this folder for you, um, so you can have no photos. If your photographer does not do that, um, If your photographer does not have a no photo folder that they send in, you will have to get your own no photo. To do that, we're going to go to clip art, and we do provide this. So like I said, we're going to go to clip art, we're going to go to type, and we're going to go to borders. Scroll down here. So from right here to right here, we actually have different styles of no photo that you can choose from. So if you see the one that you like right here, you can actually click on download, select the select where you want it to go, and click on save. Then we're going to go back to the folder that we were just at. We're going to click on upload, upload image, go to the folder that that's in. We're going to click on that one and then click on open. Wait for the progress bar to, and then once it's green, you're good to go. You can close this window out or click on upload and upload as many of that no photo as you need. Once that no photo is uploaded, we need to tag this image. You can see an image is properly tagged. That's with their name, the student's name. It has this green box or this green price tag in the lower left-hand corner. This is how you know that it is tagged with their student's name. To do that, we're going to click on the image, come over here to tag name. We're going to click on add, and all it needs is just the first and last name, and that's it. So once we tag the name, now you see the no photo is right here between these two students. Once we hit save and done, you will see the no photo has moved location. That's because the image library sorts the images alphabetical based on last name. So if you ever see the image disappear, you're like, wait, where did it go? Well, it just fell into alphabetical order. That's all it did. For any reason you need to change a name, all you have to do is just click on this blue dot or click on tag names. This little pencil icon right here is edit. So you can click on that. And this little pop-up will show up. Just click on continue. You'll see first name. You can change the first name. Click on save. You'll see the name changes took effect right here, and then done. And then it's just that easy to fix a name real quick right here. Oh, real quick before we move on, if you ever need to move like a lot of students, if you click on one and hold the shift key and then click on the last one, it will select everything in between so you can move those. If you need to move certain students, instead of just moving one at a time, you can click on the one you need to move. Holding the control key, you can click on other ones. And then when you go to move those, it will select those that you've just selected and move those. All right, so let's go to a page here and let's start flowing some portraits and show you some of those. So here we are on our pages, and we need to put those images from the portraits onto our pages. To do that, we're going to come over here to Flow. It's a little tab right over here to the left. Right here, we have six flow elements. These six flow elements are each different elements. We have the traditional, the name on the left, name on the right. We also have the name up top, and of course the name on the bottom. Then we have the name next to each one of them. Do we have to identify each student in the candidate shot for the program to tell how many times that student? the book, or does the program identify the student from their class photo? No, you have to tag that image. So you have to make sure you tag each, including each photo too. Your activity photos right here. If you want to know, um, if you had a group shot right here, so both of these right here, you would have to put, and add a name uh, for both of these as well. So that way the system knows which how many times they've been used. All right. So let's talk about these flow elements because a lot of people call in and a lot of people have trouble with these flow elements, but um, we'll try to make it easy for you. I think once you see how easy it is to manipulate these, it it'll make your it'll make your job a lot easier. So let's get two different ones over here. Let's get the traditional, names to the side here, and names on the bottom, and see right off the bat there are two different ones, and we'll show you how you can shift these and get them to the sizes you need and how to get them so they're workable. So first thing I'm going to do is under category, I'm going to go to the class that I want to flow on this page. And the reason why I want to do that is right here underneath where it says first last, it's going to say 25 images. That tells me how many images, how many boxes I have to have. I have to have at least a minimum of 25. So when I go to the flow element here, as soon as I click on it, there's a toolbar that opens up right here. If I click off, toolbar goes away. If I click on them, toolbar's right there. This toolbar will have your font, so you can actually change the font of the names right here. You can change the size of the fonts. I'll talk about the red X here shortly. You can also change the coloring of the names. You can add a border around the images. Some of the fonts you can bold or italic. Some of the fonts, they are what they are. So that might be grayed out. But if you go back to, just a different one, you might be able to bold the names like this. Finally, here in the middle, these tiny little dots with a down arrow, that's your flow options. This is what you'll be working with the most on this toolbar. So clicking this down arrow, first thing you want to do is uncheck this automatic. And the reason for that is if you start taking away the number of rows, you will see that the boxes are stretching taller. So that's what we're doing right there, right now, is talking about the sizes of the boxes. So right here, you'll see that the box sizes are getting taller as we're reducing the number of rows. This is why we uncheck automatic because it's just going to stay. It's going to want to stay that size at the top and the bottom. It's going to stay that total width and the total height. By all right, by unchecking that, when I reduce the number of rows, you'll see that rows are actually disappearing, and then columns are actually going to disappear. So there we go. So what we want to do is we want to reduce the number of rows and columns to just what we need. So if we know we need 25, so we know we need at least 5 rows of 5 columns. So we can do this and we can do this. All right. How do we add favorites? Favorite song, food quote. You well, I will show you that here shortly. You cannot do that with the flow element right here. All right. So now that we got the 5, 5, so there's our 25 spots um, for our images here. We can adjust next. We can come down here to portrait dimensions, and we can adjust the height and width. We can make these a little bit bigger. We don't have to leave them like this, little small images. So we can add a little bit of width to them, a little bit of height right here, so we can make these boxes slightly larger. Now, one thing it will not let us do, as we do that, if we ever need to add another column, it's not going to let us do that because it's going to stay inside the blue boxes. The blue box is the safe area for our photos, and we'll talk more about the bleed lines and the little safe zone, right? The between the blue and the yellow, the red line right here. We'll talk about that next time in our webinar. But if you ever need to add another column or another row, all you have to do is just reduce the size, maybe move this over a little bit. You may have to uh, go inside the box right here, maybe change that to a 5, maybe change that into a 5, and then you can add another column. But sometimes getting these boxes set up just the way you want will require a little bit of fine tuning here in the height and the width. Next is portrait spacing. That's just the spacing between the boxes. So you can separate the boxes out a little bit more or make them a little bit taller. So right here, we just add a little more space in between these boxes. So if you need to add, just like one of the questions, if you need to add like a favorite something or a quote, just add a little bit of spacing between them, and then you can add a text box underneath, and then you can type in whatever you need to for each student. Next is the name width. That's just if you need to adjust the name width just a little bit. Um, this helps if you have a really long name, so you can adjust that a little bit more for to accommodate a longer name. Portrait shapes, you can change these. No, here. You can change these to different shapes. Only in rectangle will you have the option to round off the edges just a little bit. Name options. So if you're done with this and you decide, you know what, I want to move the portraits to the other page and put the candidates on the left. So you can do that. You can move that right here. Come up to flow options, come down to name options. Instead of names on left horizontal, just names on right horizontal. If you click that, then we just flip the where the names are. So you don't have to redo everything you just did. So we're going to put that right there. And this red box right here will say 0 available positions. That's because we haven't saved anything. We haven't told the program that, hey, I just put 25 boxes on there. So after we save, just watch this red box. Red box is gone. 25 spots are available now. So to flow this class onto here, first we have the category of the teacher that we want, name format first last. That just means the first name first, last name last. 25 images, 25 remaining because 0 have been flowed. The start and stop is your page. So we want to start on page 48. We want to stop on page 48. We see we have 25 positions available. That's good to go. We're going to come down to this purple button right here, and we're going to click on it, and we're going to see that the flowing is just that easy. We'll reset it a little bit. So if we move this up a little bit and then we come back to flow, we're going to see that we have it's just a little pop up here that says, hey, you have to save this first before we can flow. So just click on save and then it'll flow. If we come up here real quick, and let's say we don't have enough boxes and we save and you see that red, but you still go ahead and click on the purple button right here, you're going to see this little warning right here. The warning will come up and say you don't have enough boxes for all your images, or you don't have an image tagged, and it will pop up a warning letting you know that something may be up with these. Check everything out before you go back to flow. And the reason why you this is popping up and the reason why you want to check everything is this happened. A teacher will go ahead and just hit flow regardless. And then if you notice, Here at the bottom, you will see this little yellow, you'll see this white circle with an X. That means they're on the page. They've been flown on the page. These students here do not have it. That means they are not in the book. And if you submit this whole entire book and it gets printed, guess what? These students are not featured in the book. So you'll have to you'll hear it from the parents. So this is why we want to make sure that pay attention to those pop-ups when it tells you, hey, there's something else wrong with the book. All right, so we're going to flow these back here. So sometimes a lot of you would like to have the teacher float first. A lot of schools like to do this, have the teacher flow first. Here we have two assistants or two paras right here that are supposed to be up here. They're not in the right order. I'm going to show you how to fix this the easiest way possible. Leave them like this. Just leave the flow like this. We're going to come down here, and then we're going to click on this little circle with an eye. You will see their image pop up. We're going to come over here to details, then type. The type, they're listed as a student. There's a hierarchy in this flow element. Um, Teachers will flow first, followed by assistant, followed by student, then other. So to fix this, we want to label this person as an assistant and then done. We want to list her as an assistant and then click done. Now we want to reset and reflow. And there's our two teachers. The reason why we want to do this is if we reset and then make the changes and then flow back again, the changes may not take effect. And so you may have to just like switch off to another class, come back, and then reflow the pages. But if they're already flowed, all you have to do is make the changes over here, reset and reflow, and then that's it. You don't have to move off of anything. You don't have to do anything, an extra step. It's just a little easier. It's just something I've stumbled onto, and I've told other people to do it this way, and it just makes life a little bit easier. All right. So with the names on the left, all you have to do is just reduce the number of boxes and then resize them. These over here is just the complete opposite. All you have to do is um, resize them down just a little bit, and then just add another box. With these, sometimes you just the vertical. If you just knock the vertical down a little bit by one, you can sneak in that extra row. Then we're going to change the font because I want to show you that. I want to show you the red X here. Maybe not that extreme. There we go. So we're going to get another class, and we're going to save it. That red box goes away. So here you can see that start and stop is at page 49. That's this other one. It will naturally just go to the next page. And we're going to click on flow. Okay, so some of the names are in red X. That just means that the text is larger um, than the box that it's in. So to reduce this, all we have to do is reset the flow, click on the box, and then you can click inside this. All the numbers are uneven, but if you want to just drop it down by one, just click inside this, uh, backspace, type 1 for 11, click on enter, and you will see that the names have become a little bit smaller. And then just reflow if you see one or two, reset again, and that's just it. Uh, just reducing the text until you find that one text that it works. So that's all you have to do. All right, make sure I covered everything here. And then real quick, if you don't want to do your own uh, flow elements, Also, real quick, since we're on it, any ones that's not used automatically turns off. So if you have another student that shows up, all you have to do is double click on these blue boxes. In this upper right hand corner, you'll see an eye that's crossed out. If you click on that, it just brings it back. It just brings those boxes back. So then you can reflow with that new student, and then whatever boxes aren't used simply just turns off. For those of you that will ask, we do have templates that you can use. If you come down here to portrait, it'll come up to here to design. Click the down arrow, come up here to portrait. You could peruse in all portrait, or if you know how many people you have in your class, you can click on that, and then you can see all the portraits that are designed for 1 to 30 kids. Click and hold, drag it on here, and then your portraits are all set up, ready to go, and evenly spaced. And so they're just right there, they're ready to go for you. Yes, yes. So what you can do is, let's go right here. So if you're using one grade, all you have to do is your start on page 48, stop on page 49, or stop on page 50, 51, stop on page 60. All that does is tell the system you want to start on this page and you want to stop that flow on this page. And that's what that's for right there. All right. Let me read this outro here real quick and then we'll open it up to questions. I want to thank you for joining us this afternoon. The demonstration of the functions related to the creation of portrait pages should eliminate some of the trial and error that occur when working with your yearbook. Printing portrait sheets and editing class data ahead of time should result in a better accuracy for some of the most important pages of a book. Feel free to join us next time when we talk about creation of activity and candid pages. All right, at this time, we'll open it up to any questions. You can take yourself off of mute and ask them, or we can ask them here. Let me get back up to the top here. Let's see, is there a way this can be recorded and sent? Yes, there is. If that person is still here to ask about the recording, um, this is recorded and sent to everybody afterwards. I've had to ask that one. Can you explain please how to change the size of the box for the portrait? All you have to do is click on it, come up here to your flow options, and then your portrait dimensions are right here. Here's where you can control the width and the height of the box. Um, at a certain point, you will get a box that will tell you you can't do it anymore. So here's where you may, if you want to do it just a little bit more, you can click on that 3, and then you can kind of ease it over just a little bit more. How do we add favorites to each image such as song? That right there, if well, here, let's go back to this one. If we add a little bit more space right here, we can actually come back to text and maybe caption, and then we can always put that caption right here, and then add whatever we need to add to it, and that's how we can do that, especially with staff. If you want to put what grade they teach, that's what you're going to have to do. Um, what did they do to me? Okay. Don't worry about that. This is a demo one, so things are always popping up and changing. So, um, but that's how you would do that with your staff if you want to do like what grade they teach or what subject they teach or whatever like that. Just you'll have to put an individual box underneath them. Uh, is there a way to change the size of just one portrait example if you want the teacher pouch singly? Yes, 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 yes. So we have it right here, and you want to use that. You can actually redesign these boxes, and you can actually go in and shut these off. So right there, we just shut those off. So when it starts flowing, it's going to start flowing with this one right here first. and then keep going. So you can actually come over here to Art, Image Frame, click on the image frame that you want to use, click and hold, drag it over here, and you can actually resize this box the way you want it right here, reposition it anywhere you want, come over to Images, up to your portrait, and oh, here we go. And then, well, or in fact, you don't even have to have that. Do it this way, just because these are smaller images. You can actually just click and hold and bring the teacher image just like that. So if you have this one right here, just like I said, click and hold, drag it over. If you have your staff folder right here, click and hold, drag it over. So you could do it like that. Of course, add a text, teacher name right here. So you could do something like that if you want to. Uh, these are my eh, these are my sample photos, so that's why they're just enough to show you how to do something. You may have different photos or larger photos that you can use, but like I said, these are just my sample ones. So, but yes, you can just move your single teacher over here like that, and that's it. If you do have your teacher in the uh, folder like this one is, and you don't want that, or for some reason your photographer did that to you, and you don't want that because you do your own thing. All you have to do is just go to each folder, find the teacher. Oh, this one doesn't have a teacher. She is. Just find the teacher, click and hold, and just move them out to like a staff folder, or you can go in and create just a standard like teacher folder, just a standard like teacher folder, and just move all your teachers in there. Also, real quick, if you click on create and then new page designer, it'll take you back to the page that you were just on. All right. Anything else? Any other questions, comments, concerns, inquiries? Hey, you are welcome. All right. I thank you all very much for showing up. How do we get the portraits to you? You can send them through support at schoolannual.com. Your rep can also help you out as well. Um, because once they're sent to me, I just send them on to the upload team, and then if there's any questions, then myself or your rep will get a hold of you and and let you know what the upload team needs. So, all right. Well, hope you all sign up for the next one. Until then, I will see you later.